What's up, yo? God Queen Tyrant here, coming at you live. Just kidding. That was an awful opening. This time, I'm talking about things that are on my mind. This is not gonna be like a usual video from me, but I'm gonna be thinking about this all fucking day if I don't just like vent it out, like Ventus from Kingdom Hearts. Anyway, I have been keeping up with the news in the game industry, either from like people I find entertaining / trust, like Jim Sterling or Angry Joe. Sometimes the Escapists. What was his name? Yahtzee Croshaw. I like his show. God damn it! With this freaking thing. Okay. I'm gonna need to take this all the way over here. And the subject for today, I did this wrong, is like gambling in video games. It's not about. I feel like the battle isn't over whether they should be in video games, because I feel like as consumers, we will lose that battle. Because companies will be companies and they will do patterns that work, and that sucks. But what are you gonna do? Unless they suffer a loss so large on a single release that has these things, then they will just keep doing it because they don't give a shit, and people keep buying like the yearly sports games or whatever. When a publisher gets hold of a franchise, like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings, and they put their garbage in. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to cut. Okay. And games like that, pretty much. But it's more lately, the battle is over just having them freaking labeled properly. This morning I watched Angry Joe's video over his. He's been trying to get a response from the ESRB, right? And just clarify, like, hey, this, how NBA 2K20's advertising was all over the damn place with like the slot machine and casino and all that crap. How come that game's rated E for everyone? What the hell? And a rep from the ESRB responded over the backlash, and he got his Angry Joe army. I didn't mean to say it like that, but it is kind of funny to get enough people asking, emailing and sending Twitter tweets to their Twitter. I sound like an old man talking. And just get some balls rolling over here about like what's going on. So they did get a response, and it was over the rating of the game. And what I've noticed a lot is that when it comes to simulated gambling, Pokemon gets like roped into this a lot. Also, I'm gonna wreck this guy with freaking Giraffe Rig. Oh, come on, man! I got my special attack up twice. You gotta do something, bro. A Citrus Berry. And in Pokemon, the difference between this and what's, oh my god, what's coming out now is that newer games have real money involved. They have storefronts in which you can pay fake money or pay real money to get fake money to spend in their little in-game minigame shit. And that's not being come across in the now I wonder if I can do this. Anyway, it's not being like advertised correctly on like ESRB stuff. So now the battle is just like, look, can we get these games advertised correctly and labeled correctly so they can get rated correctly? Like, if they're gonna have like a model like those, it needs to be advertised in its rating, so that, you know, and it needs to have the appropriate rating too. It's by their definition now, T for teen means that it will have simulated gambling in whatever, however way you want to put it. It's gonna have a simulated gambling, by example of Pokemon, like the slot machine. Just having it there means it's simulated gambling, as well as storefronts that involve you buying fake money to play their games, like I said. So that all has been grouped together as simulated gambling. Okay, I guess we're both just gonna sit here and enjoy it because everyone is paralyzed and nobody can move. So in Angry Joe's response from the rep from ESRB, the rep said this:
the in-game content of NBA 2K20 simply does not meet our definition of simulated gambling. Who creates that simulated gambling definition? They do. They self-regulate, so they get to set the rules, they get to set what the simulated gambling is according to them, and then it fits that criteria. We've also noticed a misconception spreading amongst some of your followers about the ratings assigned to the original Pokemon games. Specifically, some are stating that Pokemon Red was rated T for teen 13 plus, which is incorrect. Pokemon Red was assigned an E for everyone rating with no content descriptors. You or they may be thinking of Pokemon Gold and Silver, which were also assigned an E for everyone, but included content descriptors for mild cartoon violence and simulated gambling due to the ability to wager in-game credits in one of the mini-games. Wait, that doesn't make any sense to me. If you just said that it included content descriptors for simulated gambling, then why was it also assigned E for everyone? I just noticed this. If we go to the ratings board, it says right here, T for teen, simulated gambling. But the ESRB just admits that, no, you guys were wrong. We didn't assign a T for teen.
And basically what happened there is the rep said, actually back in the day, your fans have been getting confused about which game was rated T for teen. Pokemon Red was not rated teen, but in fact you may be thinking of Pokemon SoulSilver or Pokemon Silver, which was not rated teen. I don't know why they brought that up. It was kind of confusing. What the fuck? She has another Dragonair. I didn't notice this. Can I do me first? Nope, it's not gonna work. Well, rip that guy. Oh shit, he lived. I could have done something else. Anyway, what went down there was just pretty contradictory in terms of just remembering which games had which ratings, and it was kind of like a weird arbitrary thing to bring up from on their part. But when it comes to their new definition of what T for teen is, T for teen means it will have simulated gambling. Well, however you want to like define it, it will have that. Now the controversy is because NBA 2K20 just straight up got, you know, an E rating, which, since it has simulated gambling in it, by their definition should also be rated T for teen. And this is where this whole thing is being blown apart, and like it's just a whole silly mess, honestly. It's like, well, how did they get away with that? So here's the thing: these kinds of games put these storefronts up so that, because what would make it, I'm assuming from their perspective, the ESRB, for there's what would make it like actual gambling as opposed to simulated gambling is that you pay real money to, I don't know, play their dumb mini games, their pachinko shit, like a real casino or something. But the loophole that a lot of them are getting away with is in having that storefront up so that you can buy their fake currency, so that they can say, "Oh, you're not spending real money. You're spending fake money, or you're getting fake currency to spend. So it's not really gambling if you're buying our currency." Also, what they do is they make the core game so just unappealingly grindy that you can play for free and stuff, but what will happen is you'll be trying to like grind up for that in-game currency, and it's so freaking slow that it's probably tempting to just spend a few dollars, or fucking 50, Jesus Christ, to get just a ton of in-game currency to not worry about it and spend on those, you know, things so you can get the rare version of LeBron James or Mike Tyson, Dragon's Den, and it's deliberately set up like that so that will happen, because that's what they absolutely want, for you to, you know, double down and just be like, you know what, I already bought this game. They treat you like idiots, right? They know that you want to play for free, so they make the core game so fucking barren that you know, try to do that. And you might get frustrated and try to do that. Like, I just want a shortcut. We believe in player choice. You know, all that shit that they fucking spout out. We think it's fun. We think it's, what's the word they use? Unethical. The word that they fucking stole. Okay, you know? And the reason why I bring up Pokemon in this is that, here's the thing. I think the T rating should just have gambling in it. Like, it's just because in my opinion, when real money is involved, that's when it becomes just straight up gambling. Whether the publishers throw those storefronts in or not, or no, as soon as they put the storefronts in and you can use real money to I don't know how to say this. It's basically a technicality. Like, you are spending real money to do all this stuff. So acting like it's not the same thing as soon as you start using in-game currency that you required from real money is different. It's just bullshit to me. But when it comes to Pokemon, let's say, because the thing is, in Diamond and Pearl, in I guess the previous versions, the original game corners in those games did in fact have like slot machines, but and I want to say Platinum had that. Yeah, Platinum did have it too. SoulSilver and the remakes are a different case, because from this game forward, they stopped just having game corners in general. So they can now keep that E rating without having to write in, you know, contains simulated gambling, or references to gambling at all. Because here's the thing, I think merely referencing it doesn't quite merit, in this day and age, their definition of T rating, it doesn't, even just like having it as a mechanic doesn't merit a T rating until real money is involved somehow, in like a one-step process or two-step process. They give you the ability to spend real money on your already bought $60 game, to spend more money to use in the game. and calling it saying that it's not the same is saying that it is the same as just generic like simulated gambling is not like correct to me. Because here's the thing about the game corners in this game. When you sure there is in-game currency which you get from battling, from selling items, from that kind of stuff. That's that game's quote-unquote real money. And when you actually get to the game corner, you can use that in-game money to buy another in-game currency, the coin. You know, you get the coin case and you go talk to the guy and he's like, how many do you want? And here's the thing, it doesn't, even though the slot machines are there, it doesn't quite lead to problem gambling, because any person who told you would tell you when they played that game as a kid, nobody actually played the slot machines. They just went up to the guy and kept buying the in-game currency. It's not the same thing as you know, dropping $50 to get a freaking basketball player. Okay, okay, it's not the same as dropping $50 to get you know, your career points or your VC. They just call it, it's not even like jewels or anything. It's just generic VC, straight up virtual currency. Okay, whatever. It's not the same as spending real money to get that and then spending that game currency to try to, for a chance to get, you know, a player or something. When you buy the secondary in-game currency in Pokemon, you can also just buy the prizes now. You don't even have to touch the slot machine at all. Now, am I saying that if they were to come out now, do they get a free pass to straight to be E rating instead of T? Yeah, because the barrier of entry is, I don't know how much it, I don't know, a Switch game is like what, $60? So when you, after you buy the game, you don't, Nintendo is good like that. I'm just gonna say, why can this guy run full? Well, whatever. Because they wouldn't slip in microtransactions for you to do that. You know, you don't really need, you don't ever spend more money after you've already bought a Nintendo game most of the time. Now they're getting into their mobile markets and they're letting developers make their games that way, and that's kind of annoying. But what are you gonna do? It's just not quite the same as like a real gambling mechanic in these days. Oh, I almost picked cheating. Whoops. I don't know, training. I wish to battle anyone. Love, I don't know. My heart says strength, but the game says both. Because another point is what these when publishers slip in things like that, what they're trying to get away with is that because there's a barrier between their, it's not direct, it's indirect gambling, you know, they're indirectly profiting somehow. When there's a step between the real money and the things they want to try to, you know, sell to people, like just a chance to get like, you know, those roulette prizes and shit. Since you don't use money directly to buy those, it's technically simulated gambling by their definition. Therefore, which is weird, because you think because of that it would just be teen, rated T for teen, if that's all they define as simulated gambling, is like it's everything. So how did they just go under the radar for them? That's another point I don't get. Okay, Dragon Pulse, it's useless for me because I can't give it to anybody. And at some point in the video, they said when the rep was talking to them that risk and surprise, I hate using this term, but surprise mechanics are in like most video games, and that is true. But most video games have, you know, random mechanics, right? And this is true. But the difference is they should be rated differently when the publishers are blatantly trying to monetize off this like random chance, and, you know, profit off of people, you know, trying to pay more money to get better chances at things. It's like they're just using that as a shortcut to, you know, get to people, and also make less of a game too. And that, I think, is not very bueno. Another point brought up is because when they were also talking to him, they mentioned that it doesn't matter what we rate the game anyway, because a game's sales are not affected by their rating, which is absolutely untrue.
They would modify when they send out the marketing materials and do all that other things, just like the movie industry does. So.
They wouldn't have to do that if they rated what they're rating it and what it should be.
Yeah.
Is simulated gambling should be simulated gambling. Whether you're spending no currency, you're getting a free spin, or you're spending real currency, that's simulated gambling. And then rate that imprimatur. Her argument that games aren't affected by, you know, game sales are not affected by the rating, I don't buy that. I don't buy that for a single moment.
We know from the movie industry how much of a difference a rated R movie makes from a PG-13.
Correct.
And so I imagine with, I mean, they're like Walmart won't even stock M for mature games, or
no,
I think they pulled all of them.
I'm not sure, but in certain instances, you don't need to take my word for it. You take the ESRB's word for it, at how effective they are at not letting minors purchase those games. Anytime you're cutting off a large segment of your game buying population, that's going to affect your sales. I swear to you, if for whatever reason, if NBA 2K20 wants to put in the gambling mechanics, if they want to put in slot machines and pachinko machines and things in order to get Scottie Pippen and LeBron James, they can do that, but it should be at the very least rated M for mature, you know? And if they do that, then I guarantee you it's going to affect their sales. So I don't buy that for a single minute. But that is the official response from the ESRB. I really do thank them.
They went on to say that like games are sent to us with a rating in mind, and it's up to us to give that appropriate rating if that's what they were seeking, until we see something else that we don't like about it and we think it needs a higher rating. Here's the thing, and this gets compared awful lot to video games too. Movies, who have also, you know, the MPAA, the movie, I don't know, that's what they're called, the MPAA. They rate the movies. They give the movie a PG rating or R rating or whatever you have it. Movies are affected by their ratings for sure. You see most of the time when a movie has like a scene or something in it that makes it like it's just a little bit too violent. Oh shit, what am I doing? Can he learn Hyper Beam? I'll just give him fucking Hyper Beam. Whatever. Who cares? Oh god, the mom came out. It's like you see in movies, or when movies are about to be released. Most movies that get a R rating, are now only available to like a certain demographic. So movie producers know that when they're putting out a movie for rated R, they know that they're gonna get a certain audience. So they might try to like take out scenes or remove scenes. Oh yeah, I have to go to Professor Adam's house. Take out scenes or like language or something, or cut out something to make it to a lower rating so that it can be more accessible to a wider audience. So of course it affects their sales. Game companies do that too, where they might be like, oh, this part of the game might earn you an M rating, so they're like, oh shit, what if we take that out? Okay, then you will get an E rating or a T rating instead. Because in order for them to profit the most, they need to get it to a wider audience. Like, for example, if NBA 2K20 was rated appropriately, then it would be rated T for teen, which means they might lose it on the audience that is E for everyone. Kids wouldn't be able to buy it themselves, or parents might be a little bit more restrictive. What the fuck do you want? Okay, kimono girl, wear. I don't care. I got so mad at Lyra there. I don't know what happened to me. The kimono girls are ready for you at the. You had like so much space there. You could have just put it there. At the Critique Dance Theater. I don't really want to go there. So, with that said, a game company might try to do everything in their power to keep bringing their rating down so that it can be bought by more people. Now, you would think if they just let it go to a teen, or possibly M. I don't see a fucking basketball game getting to M, but they would be like more concerned about their possible sales. So I mean, I don't buy that either. That why would the ESRB believe that or why would even someone who works there thinks that like a game sales will not be affected at all by their rating? It just doesn't. That doesn't make sense. I don't want to get Lugia. Don't make me get Lugia. I'm just gonna murder him. Whatever. Ugh. Okay. I mean, I still never showed the egg to the professor. Yeah, just. Oh, I hate these girls. They all have the EVs that I don't like. Ugh. Anyway, I don't think I was very clear on this. I think that simulated gambling should be redefined again, and that there should be a differentiation between that and real gambling. Game companies can't be allowed to say that, oh, they're buying a fake currency from us so they can use in our in-game shit, and therefore it's not real gambling. They can't be allowed to do that, because then that gives them, the opportunity to. It gives them a way out and say that it's just simulated. It's not real, and even though it fucking is. So, and that should just be called gambling, like straight up, and that should be in the teen rating. Simulated gambling where no real money is involved other than you buying the damn game, and even if it just has a fake slot machine or a reference to it, I think honestly that's fine. When you involve real money or give people the ability to spend real money to get in-game currency, that's in-game purchases. That's a bullet point. And then you put gambling. Like, and you can pretty much assume, like, from those 2 bullet points that you're gonna get that shit in there. And then you can save the version of simulated gambling that I think is kind of harmless. You could just put that in and eat it for everyone rating. Now, Steven's got annihilated. I put all my Pokemon to level 40-ish just so I could beat Claire, and I don't have any Dark types because there's like no Dark types in this game that I will go out of my way to get anyway. Wait, what does he have? Anyway, I know I spent a long time setting up context for this, but that's just how I feel. Just so I could say that bit pretty much, because I think that's the solution. Because then once that is in effect, let's say, and then they're able to put an appropriate team rating in all these games that have the in-game purchases and the real gambling, like when real money is involved, and you know the other thing is there, then all those games in the future would be given a team rating. Because what Angry Joe's response from the people are saying is, if Pokemon were to come out now with the game corners in them, with the slot machines, that they would be given a teen rating, even though there's no real money involved, unlike the NBA 2K20, which has that storefront model and the slot machine pachinko shit. And yet, in today's reality, that was given a E rating. It makes no sense. Why would they do that? Like, they can't say that, oh, we reserved the T for teen rating, or we reserved simulated gambling for T for teen, but we didn't put that rating on the game with simulated gambling by our definition. It's like, what the fuck is what are you saying here? Like, God. And like, that's pretty much it. I want to beat this Espeon and I want to kill myself. Whoa, look, I'm over here now. Isn't that weird? Before I record the next part of this, I just want to say some final words about my analysis of this event that's going on here. It gave us some time to think, and I tried to figure out the goal of that whole thing. Because like, boycotting is not gonna work. The mainstream is too unaware of how they're being fucked over in the video game world, I would say. But the goal of getting the appropriate ratings on games with either simulated gambling or however the fuck you want to define it, it's to, because as it is right now, games that incorporate them into their like storefront models and shit, those games are getting E for everyone, and it is that way because in order for it to get a T rating, there can't be a middleman like the game's virtual currencies, like jewels and like so shit like that. They're the publishers that push their developers to get this into the game. They're getting away with the E ratings based on a technicality, because the ESRB thinks that, well, you're not using real money to gamble and get monetary reward from it. It's not like the lottery. You're not getting real money. You're putting real money in, but you're not getting real money back. So technically, it is simulated gambling, but it's not worthy of a T rating, which makes no fucking sense. So what that means is when the whole thing about pushing to get these games rated correctly and fairly is about the publisher taking the risk of, okay, well, even if we lose this battle, we're gonna still put it out, right? And because ideally for them is that they want the game for the E for everyone, so they can sell it to every demographic. The higher the rating is, the less of a demographic they can technically sell to or market to. So I think the idea is for the next game they put out, let's say, I don't know, NBA 2K21, for example. Let's pretend that gets a T rating. They'll be able to sell it less to the younger demographic, like the kids under, I don't know, 16 or whatever they consider teen. So, and if it gets to that point, they might have, let's imagine it gets to M rating. That means they can't sell it to anyone under 18. So the 18 and over demographic for playing basketball games, it's gonna be pretty small, I would say. Like, the people who play M graded games play like mostly shooters and war simulators and stuff. If it gets to that point, they will lose out on selling to the other demographics. So, and my theory is when they notice this, they'll be like, oh no, if we want an E rating and sell this game to as many people as possible, we're gonna have to take these out so we get the E rating. And hopefully that'll phase out like those business models in, you know, console AAA games. Because I think the thing is, I come to expect that kind of shit from mobile games. Like, mobile games are stupid to me now. All their models are all the same. They're designed to hit walls and shit. You know, you spend your VC to get like high drops for legendary units and crap, and it's all the same shit. Oh yeah, good news, I got Prickly G. I finally got a cool fish. But anyway, hopefully those get phased out, and the AAA console gaming games go back to how they used to be. And they're full complete games. They're not designed like that bullshit way, because they'll be wanting to keep everything E for everyone, so they won't put those things that'll get them a T rating, like the simulated gambling mechanics, like all the the season pass bullshit where you get extra VC for doing this, for pre-ordering this or doing that. It's all annoying. Like, games, especially the ones claiming to be like, this is a AAA video game for big boys. For that's the hit mindset I think they market to. But like, you would think that they want to sell it to everyone as much as they can. If people are finding out that, like, oh, this is dumb, let's start boycotting and stuff. Or not like boycotting, but it's mostly for parents who don't want their kids to like rack up so much spending and clean out their bank accounts. Because I've also been keeping up with that part too, where they'll ask their parents like, hey, can I buy this thing within this game? And they're like, okay, sure. And then somehow they'll like take their parents' card information, or just take the phone and just go crazy. And it's because these games aren't rated well that parents would be like, actually, this game is rated T for teen, and you're a little 6-year-old kid, man. I'm not letting you play this game. That's the first step for parents, and then the second step is for adults who are possibly being preyed upon with these mechanics. Like, the publishers want you to go crazy and spend so much money that it's unhealthy. Like, that's exactly what they want you to do, because you can't get any of that back. You're basically converting real money into VC, so you can only spend it there, and you don't get anything back from it other than like 5 seconds of what's the word, satisfaction. you like 5 seconds of satisfaction, like spending VC to get stupid drops for crap. And then the way these games work is that they'll roll out a new banner that comes up with something better, and it's just a never-ending cycle of that. It's how like all the mobile games are. This is not how console games should be, especially $60 games that claim to be the full game. You know, this is just not good, and it sucks whenever I hear that like those games are selling annually, or they're either topping their sales from last year, or somehow they're making a profit. And it's just like, how? Like, nobody can enjoy these games for more than a year because the new one's going to come out the next year. So everything you put into the old game stays in there, and it's not going to be supported anymore. And then you have to spend money on a new game to get that version's virtual currency. It's like, this is just bullshit. So yeah,